you have any hobbies?
That's a big Twinkie.
Hey, does this pole still work? You gotta try this pole.
Hello?
Baby, up your butt with a coconut.
Do what, you inside?
Go ahead. No, I can't.
We never talk anymore.
That blue thing I got from her. They could be exposing themselves. And you don't want us exposing ourselves.
Be gone!
That's a big Twinkie.
I am the keymaster.
I am the gatekeeper.
Did you and I, did we?
No, Louis. No.
Short but pointless.
Nice shooting, Tex.
Good evening, and welcome to Book Talk. This evening we're talking with writer, philosophizer, and sometimes actor, Dr. Johnson. Dr. Johnson, it's such a pleasure to talk with you today.
Oh, thank you so much, Tom. It is wonderful to be on your show, and may I say thank you for mentioning the acting. It is only an amateur production
Yeah, I've seen your acting, and although not a leading role, but still a demanding presence. We should probably move on and talk about your book, which is a chronicle of 20 years of as a moviegoer, of going to these movies and discovering sexuality in these mainstream movies that non-people would recognize.
Yes, I am I teach at the local college down over at Ottawa. My class there is called Masturbation and Gratification, Cinema's exploration of the sexual subtext of human psychology, and we meet every. It is also found in the extracurricular catalog at Ottawa College, yes. So this is a combination of my observations from prior to teaching this class, as well as observations that I have gained and refined in the course of my academic profession and studies.
Well, I know we have a very short time, but I'd like to ask you about one more film.
No problem.
It's definitely highlighted in your book, and I believe you call it the most sexually charged film that you've seen, and that your discovery was when you saw this film, and the discovery of it led you to write this book and continue these studies of film and how sexuality plays in them. The 1984 comedy Ghostbusters. Now, what can you tell us about this well-loved classic film?
Well, Brett, I think that the first thing that I would want to say is I think it is summed up in the theme song for the film, "Bustin' Makes Me Feel Good." It is a celebration of life. It is a celebration of sperm. really, of the seeds of life. The film is an explosion of jism, of life's joie de vie, in the most cinematic, orgasmic way possible. And what I think many people overlook because of the film's somewhat misleading title, which I'm told by reputable sources was forced upon Dan Aykroyd, who was one of the story's creators. That the film is not, as the text would make it seem, some sort of comedy about dead people, about spirits. No, this is a far misinterpretation of what the film is about. It is a film about creation, and you see the main characters begin at a university, which I think is key to understanding what is going on. And if you observe the scene, there is a very clear kind of test that Bill Murray is performing, and at the same time you can tell that he is making up certain answers that the person who is female, but it could be male. It doesn't matter either way. It is sexual.
One person is male. One is male, and one is female.
That is true. And what that suggests is that true life does not consist of a choice of either the same sex or the opposite sex, but of both sexes being placed into the mating ritual, which that particular scene is actually depicting. It is not some sort of test of ESP. It is truly a ritual in which Bill Murray is trying to decide who he should first mate with. But as you can tell, they have been in this particular testing field before, particularly the male. So you know that Bill Murray is considering his options and keeping that in the back of his spank bank, so to speak. And what we find is that I'm afraid I have to say it in French. I can't say it in English. But
Go ahead.
The je ne sais quoi that they all share together, this Venkman and the pardon me. Perhaps I could get your assistance with characters' names.
Bill Murray's name is, I believe, is Venkman, as you said.
Yes.
Spangler is the Harold Ramis character, and
Spangler, yes.
And Stans is the Dan Aykroyd character, and Winston Zedmore is the Ernie Hudson character.
Very good, thank you. So all of them. Ultimately, what the story is a struggle for them to realize that infinite pool of life and of sexuality and power that resides deep within inside of them, that they are at all times being directed away from. You see, what has happened as they are kicked out of the university is that the place of life, of affirmation, of the place where ideas are celebrated, this is denied them. They are effectively kicked out of paradise. And so they are thrust into toil, into the world of sin, as it were. And it is going through this world of sin and of having to encounter bureaucracy and of having to shackle themselves to the chains of capitalism, informing their own business, that they are having to basically be honed through the fires of experience, and eventually they come to the place where they are confronted with pure power, with the God Zul. And the God Zul, of course, challenges them to rise to the occasion, to effectively become erect, to make their move, to try to stick it out, so to speak. And they do this. And of course, you have the what I would call, of this incredibly sexually charged movie, the most sexually charged scene of the film, in which they cross their streams, effectively entwining their phalluses all together in a sort of penis Gordian knot. And this knot of nut is effectively the thing that overcomes the power of the god of death and destruction, and affirms their life. And as they exit from this encounter, they have effectively overcome their little death, the orgasm, and they spread their jism over the city, which is seen in the form of what initially, on the textual level, appears to be marshmallow cream, but is in fact sperm. And they are triumphant and celebrated, and they are affirmed, and they radiate that after sexual glow at the end of the film that you see as they walk out to the affirmation of the crowd, which has been blessed by their ejaculation.